Yo, what's going on? Trying to turn my Bluetooth on. Hold on, I got the who was out listening to music. I was using a laptop, so everything's on my Bluetooth. Forgot about him too. There we go. There we go. All right, Chris, you hear me, bro? He was out listening to music. Could you just give me a loud and clear in the chat if you can hear me. About to get into this quick breakdown. If you're on Instagram, head on over to the link in the bio, and we're going to get into this chart breakdown and see what's coming for the new year, man. Especially for DXY, we checking on US30 and NAS100 and German G40 DAX, whatever you go by. And bam. Yes, sir. All right. Let's make it quick. This is going to take a long time. I'm just really going over the pairs that I'm looking at for this year. Please excuse the plane overhead. A second, give me a second. All right. So, like I said, we're going over the charts right now. I'm trying to see what's going to be coming up for the year. It's better to prepare because we do have these new 12-month candle closes. So if you don't know what we're getting into, we are trading the Forex market. If you're on IG, go ahead and head over to the YouTube channel now. You can watch us live as we do this quick breakdown. I'm going to go over, like I said, German 30, NAS100, and US30 and DXY, just in preparations for the year. I think that's really all I'm going to be looking at. You know, I may have a Forex pair here and there down the road, but for all intents and purposes, while we do this live, you know, this is not any type of investment advice. I'm not telling you to go buy or sell anything. ITU, we are just educating and providing information. This analysis is just a quick breakdown on what I see has happened thus far, but I'm not telling anybody by any means to go blow any money doing anything. All right. But other than that, let's get straight into it. So for DXY, what I'm automatically identifying here, just off rip, I do like to look at the charts first from a blind eye before we add any extra tools and whatnot. So from blind's eye view, I can see that 12 monthly that we left a imbalance here, correct? So seeing the market pump up like this on DXY, you know, even with everything that's going down fundamentally, this wick was going to come up eventually and tag this mark. And we're seeing that strong rejection and closing back below the 2015 high. Okay, so that's not something I want to see from a market that I want to go bullish. I want to see a break and close above and then have that market come back to retest the high and then continue forward. So going down into the 6 month, I like the shooting star we're getting, right? Just off the candles alone, you can see a nice shooting star here, maybe confirming a low double top in here. So if we can maintain that, we'll see this continue to push downwards, okay, off that shooting star. We may get a retracement early in the year, maybe giving us some type of head and shoulders in the lower time frame. But currently, the shooting star pattern off a 6 month pretty strongly. And why are we identifying this high time frame like this? Well, this year just closed out, right? So that's the most recent candle close we have. So I want to identify what that candle is presenting and then the candles within the year that matches the overall outlook. Okay. So let's continue down into the quarterly. I'm loving this nice bearish engulfing tweezer top You're also seeing here, and I'll just put this just for marking purposes. We're seeing that imbalance fill, that close with low, the tweezer top, the rejection, the engulfing pattern. So I'm definitely under the belief that the market could now reverse at this time. All right, and we definitely would like to see the next quarter again, maybe pull up, like I'm saying, give us a early imbalance, drop us a wick at the top side, and then continuing to the downside to close out bearish by the end of March. Okay, let's continue down. Let's look at the monthly. Got a nice evening star followed by sorry, let me adjust my IG camera. Sorry, guys. So we have a bearish candle following right behind that. Okay. Now, will the market come back to see this area here where we do have an existing imbalance? Let's continue on and see. Let's get down into the weekly. So that's what I'll be able to identify. All right. So we didn't get a full rejection from where we'd like to see. It's not a perfect. I don't expect the market to be perfect, but I did get a beautiful weekly cross here with a nice bearish evening star, and we're down continuing downward. So with that being said, the change of direction is definitely there. We can see the trend was upheld and then broke to the bottom side. If we are going to pull up, I mean, this is really highly unlikely that the market will do this. If it's going to happen, it's going to be happening early on, right? So we're going to find out here during NFP week, in my opinion, if the market does give us some type of bullish momentum to come up here and then continue. But for me personally, we may see just enough. Let's see here. Let's go into the daily real quick. All right, with this structure here being held with a possible double top, but the thing about the market at the end of the year, right, we're closing out. So these moves necessarily may not even count, right? And if that's the case, we'll see the market come back up to actually make the real move, which may be a pullback into here and continuation and or a break above to give us the move to that top side area we identified earlier. But for me personally, I'm going to stick with the bears. Like I said, the 12-month, the 6-month, the quarterly, they're all giving me bearish intent. Okay. It's just finding that location where we're going to see the market clean up and continue. Okay, we did have a gap fill here, which was definitely, I would consider that filled at this point. At least the market is showing that sentiment and then coming down and just making those lower lows, okay, and lower highs till it found a support level where it's going to hold until we open up, you know, the year. Then we'll find out a little bit more come through the end of this week. Now let's get into US30, same breakdown from the 12-month. Now, what do we know for sure? Okay, when it does print these bearish years, the market tends to bounce back pretty heavily right there after the fact. So if we're going to go ahead and continue to see that type of action, like a 12-month is not giving me any bearish candlestick to confirm any type of reversal coming. So I'm definitely going to be expecting this market to continue forward once it finds a area of support. Okay, so you can see here on the 6-month, we did come down and take care of a nice imbalance here. Once that was filled, we closed back high bullish. We did get a continuous bear, right? So I'm not going to expect what I know, bearish engulfing, followed by I'm looking for another bear candle to confirm the bearish momentum to the downside. So we didn't get that. What do we get on the quarter? We got a nice reversal. We got a nice reversal out of the pullback with a nice bullish engulfing. So with that being said, now I'm going to look for this quarterly to possibly come back and fill that if I'm going to get any type of tracement to that level, which we'll identify in the lower time frames, right? I'm looking here just to specify. All right. I also want to just recolor that and make sure I know that I'm looking out for that area on the lower time frames. Now, let's get down into the monthly. Now, what we see on the monthly, we do see the market come in, they can give us a possible bullish flag, but what we're doing, in my opinion, US30 is retesting these COVID highs. Once we retested that COVID high, we spit a nice, beautiful bullish move, followed by another bullish move. But I don't have enough information. We can see where we can leave that possible support area at, that we can see an unfilled area here on the monthly time frame. So let's go down to the weekly. All right, so we have a nice weekly cross. It comes back, we're holding a nice decent support area. If the market is showing any bearish signs, my idea is to believe that I would need this to break back to the downside, right? And if it's going to break down to that downside, then we'll see us hit that 31,000 area after breaking 32,250, okay? But weekly crosses are very strong. I have a bullish closing last week, which is really nice. Again, this previous, or the week before last, that previous candle for last week, again, it's the end of the year. The market is kind of just coming to its close. Let's get into the daily. So now we are also identifying here this consolidation period that it went into to close out the year as expected. What I would like to see is the market come jump down out of this consolidation, right? We see that bearish sentiment. We also see DXY possibly pulling up, and then double bottoming and maybe a continuation in that nature, or otherwise we'll see us break out of the high. And I want to identify this support resistance here. Okay. So simple price action is telling me, okay, the market is struggling here at this resistance level. Okay. When we get into these consolidations, I'm then going to look for a breakout of some kind, either top side or to the bottom side. And for the bears, like we talked about earlier, if they're going to have any ability to give us some type of strong bearish idea, we've got the head and shoulders, which is really nice. Oops, I didn't even realize. It was in there. What up, Tay? We see the head and shoulders in there, and we're consolidating here right at the neckline. But again, that higher time frame, those candle closes are the most important things, in my opinion. And over the years of dealing with watching the market, watching the candles open and close, the higher time frame candle is going to guide us as we move forward. So I am bullish personally from a higher perspective, but currently we do see a head and shoulders patterns identified, the neckline is identified, and we're sitting at that area. But we'll see if that'll push us to the early identified support level down at 31,000, and then seeing us maybe go bullish from that position there, or we'll get a break above and it'll null and void the head and shoulder pattern. All right, let's get into NAS. NAS is really heavy on my list right now just because of the sentiment that we do have from the DXY and the position that we are seeing on NAS. So again, as discussed off of US30, we have the bearish candle, but the possibility, which we'll see coming in the next couple of years, is everything going bullish again there and after. So with that being said, I'm liking a nice close here for the 6 month to give us a nice bullish engulfing following the next 6 months. The 3 month have beautiful closes. I love the doji. I would like to see the next 3 months again go bullish as well. Let's get into the 1 month. So we do have this support level still being held. We still are struggling to close below. Okay, so that is going to give me an idea of definitely this market retracing at least into this level here. Even if it's going to continue bearish, right? So it would, we would expect it to give us a wick and then continue to the downside, unless the market opens to the downside and give that wick first. So let's look at the weekly. So the weekly is giving us a beautiful on that support level doji candle. So we would look for a nice morning star, possibly going into after NFP, setting us up for next week. I'm also not going to take into account that there is a possible inverted head and shoulders showing up here, right? The market is slowing down. We see the market is struggling to break below these lows, and we can see that this momentum is about to shift. From the day from that level, we do have a nice engulfing pattern the market did on the end of the day. But again, end of the year last year, we're slowing down. So I'm not going to base my idea off this candle, but I am very well aware of this bullish engulfing to end things off, giving us a lot of room to go topside, right? In comparison, we know US30 and NAS typically can move the same as we've seen in previous years. But in the current situation, US30 is back leading things if the market decides to continue that bullish insight. We'll have a lot of time this year to take advantage of those bulls. German 30 from the top side. All right, we're maintaining this nice support structure here. I do not have any type of bearish close that's telling me, hey, the bears are coming in strong right now. So I'm still in the bullish idea overall. 6 month, we have a nice bullish close inside bar on the support level. I would definitely like to see this continue. 3 month, we have a nice bullish engulfing. So what's the possibility? Can we open up the downside? Again, we're seeing the XY possibly going up, then down. And same thing here, the possibility of German 30 coming down, cleaning up whatever happened at these last candles or not, and then continuing forward. Ultimately, we're looking for that support level that it's going to decide to reverse from. And if we clean up the imbalance, maybe get an inverted, there's a possibility early on in the year to see that. So I'll be paying attention to that going into the end of this week. We can see that the weekly has found a support. We can definitely see that the EMA cross, I do like where we are landing at. We can see previously that this has been a level of support before, okay, in the past. So even just now from the weekly, we can say, hey, maybe just a retracement of that engulfing that we're having currently will give us that wick entry we're looking forward to then continue to the top side. So let's get into the daily, see if we can find possible entry area. And again, here we are with that same head and shoulders idea, and we'll see if that maintains the sentiment. But the strength of the bulls showing their hand here in those higher time frames still have me on the bullish side. And these sellers may get wiped out or have just a short lived opportunity. Because again, we do have, hey, look, see this imbalance down here, and that would give us that sentiment to go down before going up early in the year. But even with that being said, if we do see a break high, maintain this area that we're in right now, where it's been consolidating at, break high, find support again, and then continue. Is the preferred idea if we're going to have that entry point there. If we don't get it, then that's okay. We are prepared for the next idea. All right, that is all I have for today. Getting ready for the year. I am excited for this year. A whole lot of opportunity. Me and the guys are taking advantage of a lot of things going on this year. We'll be having more lives like this with the other educators for sure, so we can have some fun with this thing. And we got more to come. If you're on IG, man, highly suggest you get involved. You can check out our Facebook group as well. And come check us out, man. Come and enjoy checking out these markets and getting this bag secured each week. All right. Hey, that's all I got, and I'll holler at y'all later.